Hi Josh, how are you, Sergeant?
I'm doing well.
All right, very good. Well, I want the fine people, first of all, to know you're living life. How did you hear about dive pirates? When did even the term dive pirates come into your life? What did you hear about it, and what did you think about it?
Dive pirates came into mind back in 2019. I was roommates with a past recipient, and she had actually invited me to 2019 Dive Pirates Ball. And so I came, and I was in awe with everything that's going on, and all the people, and all the excitement. And I was introduced to Teresa, Helen, Susan, and found out more about Dive Pirates and what they do and what it's like to be a recipient.
I think about that time in 2019, our world was about to change possibly forever. So as you would move forward and perhaps get more into and learn more and maybe even become a dive pirate yourself, COVID hits. How did that affect your life, and how did that delay you getting even more involved?
Yeah, so COVID hit, and I was supposed to go on my trip, and because of COVID, everything got closed, everything got shut down, the trip got canceled, and it wasn't even happen. And I didn't let it faze me. I kept persevering, I kept pushing, kept checking in. Hey, anywhere, any update? Because I wanted to make sure that they knew that I was invested, that I was interested, and not just falling off the wayside.
And then if that wasn't enough, we're all trying to navigate this new world, right? And I think we were all trying to figure out how to survive COVID. Somebody you love very much got a cancer diagnosis. Tell me what happened with your mom and how that was affecting your life at the time.
So my mother has been fighting cancer for the last 7 years, and she was in remission for a while, and all of a sudden the cancer came back, and it just came back with a vengeance. And I felt it was more my duty to go and assist her and to go on a dive trip. You have to be there for another time. She may not. And so I put everything on hold and went back home and just spent precious time with my mother and help her get better, help her, overcome the cancer again. And then I was able to come back.
Finally, in 2022, you got to be involved and we got to see what that trip was like. We're going to get back to that in a little while. But first of all, you all probably heard his moment of that dramatic thing that happened in his life in 2007. So 15 years ago, his life changed forever. We'll get to that in a moment, but I want to talk about your childhood and how you grew up as a little boy. You had a history of military in your family, and you said, I want to do that one day. I'll do whatever it takes to be in the military. Where did that love of our country come from, and such a selfless act to want to help our country?
Well, like you said, my family was military. My father, my grandfather, my uncle, my great-grandfather, they were all military, different branches. And I felt, at that time growing up, I felt it was a young man's responsibility to stand up for the country that he lives in. And I wanted nothing more than to join the military and be one of the 1% to stand up for this country, stand up for everybody's rights.
However, this guy is a survivor more ways than any of you can ever imagine. The military wouldn't let him in. Do you know why? Because he fought cancer as a child. And you have to wait a certain amount of time after that cancer diagnosis before they will allow you to join the military. So tell us about that cancer journey when you were a child.
So I was 15 years old, and I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, melanoma. And I had no clue. I went to the doctor with my mom because I had something on the bottom of my foot that turned into a wound. And by chance, she always checks my mom, and she was checking me out and said, I need you to go to the dermatologist. And then 2 weeks later, the dermatologist came, they took the stitches out, and they said, you need to go straight upstairs to surgery, and I was in surgery the next morning. And it was devastating, because it was right after that I got a phone call from my recruiter the day before I was supposed to go to MEPS, saying, sorry to tell you this, but you can't go. And I'm like, why? Well, unfortunately, because you have cancer, you have to have a senior built in health before you can enter service. And so that just shattered all my dreams. But again, I kept pushing.
What a go-getter you are. So what do you think would happen? Your dreams are shattered, you're a young man. You think about, well, maybe I'll go to college. Well, not only did he go to college and get a degree, he's an overachiever. He got 2 degrees. How did you find that, I guess, that will to move on, not get to live your dream yet, but to really start building your life?
I made it a point that whatever I was going to do, I was eventually going to get into the military. But in the meantime, I needed to do things for myself. So I decided to go to school. And I worked on 2 bachelor's degrees in telecommunications and computer science. Now every 2 years, like clockwork, I would go to the recruiter, say, hey, I want to sign up. Sorry, Mr. Hamilton, you're TDQ. I'm like, all right, see you in 2 more years. You know, all in hopes that something would change. Because it really confused me that they're telling me that the Surgeon General said I can't do it. I'm like, he hasn't even seen me. How does he know? And so it was clockwork every 2 years, and finally 2004 comes around and I'm graduating with my degrees, and I go to the recruiter. Lo and behold, I'm allowed to go. And so I did MEPS February 2005. Off to boot camp.
How incredible was that? Okay, so let's talk about your dream came true. You picture he's lived his whole life, a little boy. He's waited all through college. He finally lives his dream. It's 2007, and this is what happened. Take a look.
I guess to set the scene, the middle vehicle all the way to the back is what you drive. I'm in that brush of trees right to the left.
Right now, such a peaceful scene. Your life is about to change forever, seconds away from devastation. It's hard to even fathom watching it and how difficult it is for us to see that. But imagine being in the middle of that. Tell us what happened at that very moment to you. And I'm so sorry. I know it has to be so hard to see that and to relive this. And you're very brave. I'm so proud of you for being able to talk about it right now. As you heard, you took everyone's breath away.
So, like I said, I was in that bunch of trees on patrol, right to the direct left of where the blast was. And I got, you know, the concussive blast that goes away from the explosion. You know, like I said in the video earlier, it just kind of picked me up and threw me about 50 to 100 yards, and into a wall and shattered my spine. I had no memory of what happened. I never even knew what happened until someone showed me the video. And when I saw the video, that was the first time in my life since the accident that I actually knew what happened. You know, I'd gone 5-6 years since the accident, not knowing what really happened. And it just kind of like, I'm alive. And in no way should I be alive. In no way.
Picture just for a moment what a football field looks like. And imagine being at the end of it and your body flying up in the air and you're slammed into a wall at the other end and he's here. Can I have an amen? Let's put our hands together. That is incredible. It is incredible. But this did not come without a lot of drama to get you to where you are today. 23 surgeries. What was this journey like of surgery after surgery, and how did they do that? Was it piece after piece? Was there a plan of this is what it takes, or were there surprises along the way? How did those 23 surgeries come about?
So the 23 surgeries came about with experimentation. They wanted to try this, that didn't work. So let's implant this, that didn't work. Let's go ahead and fuse here. Now we're going to put a cage in. Oh, now we're going to fuse the other side. Now we're going to put another cage in, and we're going to fuse your hips. And so my body, and this mind you, 23 surgeries in 6 years, and my body was in a constant state of recovery. I couldn't heal from one surgery before I knew I had another one, and to be depressed is putting it lightly.
Because it not only shattered your body, it shattered your image, your self-esteem, your life. And I understand you became reclusive. You didn't even want to leave home anymore.
So I didn't leave my house for 3 years straight. I'd have my mom would come. She would bring me whatever I needed, and I'd pay her for it. My room, my house was dark. The only light that was in my house was the light from the aquarium. That was it. I didn't have friends over. I just sat on the couch. Day in, day out, just sat on the couch.
3 years of living in the dark in his home, just trying to survive the physical pain, the emotional pain, and he was raw. You're here today, and you're doing great. What was this turning point? What happened to make you get that will to live and to not live in a dark room anymore, but to get out and about and to turn things around?
Well, the point comes when you've got to realize that nobody's going to help you unless you ask them to help. And before my pride got in the way, it's like, I am not going to ask somebody to help. I don't need help. I can do it on my own. And after failure and failure and failure, I realized that sometimes you gotta just take the leap and ask for help. And so I did. And I started getting the counseling that I needed. And like I said, Kelly introduced me to Black Pirates, and I found out what they can do, what they do. And that gave me the prospect of the trip and being part of the family gave me something to live for, gave me something to strive to get out of that funk and start with.
But it was delayed for a while. Did you just keep living during that time, during the pandemic, of picturing yourself there? And then once you got there, what was it like?
Once I got there. So, since 2007, I have not known a day without pain. Pain getting up, pain trying to walk, pain just trying to sleep. And that trip was the first time, because I always ask myself, God, what will I ever get to experience a day with no pain? That day I did. That day, that first day I put that suit on, went down below surface, pain-free. Every piece of pressure that was inside the body was gone. And it was the greatest feeling that I've always been praying for.
That is incredible. So your faith helped you as well through all of this.
Yeah, I've always maintained my faith. You know, even when things were dark. I mean, so we talked earlier about me being alive, surviving. So besides that incident right there, I attempted my life twice. Faith is what overcame it. I shouldn't be here at all right now. And my faith in God and my faith in my family, it led me to get inpatient help and treat myself.
I'm so thankful for that because you are such an incredible soul. We can all learn from you, and what a blessing that Die Pirates has changed your life and will continue to do so. And I hope you're able to get in the water so much more and experience so many more pain-free moments.
Yeah, me too. And I think besides the pain-free part, the best part of the trip outside of that was the people that I met. I have met two of the greatest people on that trip, Scott and Melissa at that back table. We have been in communication. We've been in communication almost every other week. And, and family, true family is hard to find, but when you find it, you embrace it. And now I know that I have a huge family.
Again, you're so brave. God bless you. I'm so thankful you're here. We hope to continue to support you and praise the Die Pirates. Let's put our hands together. Turning out